guys, how's it going? There's a lot going on around our house today. Not only is it May and I'm wearing a winter coat, but it's also fairly breezy, and in 2 days, so on Thursday, we have a forecasted high of 90 degrees and the next day's high is 68, which means we're gonna have a massive windstorm. And I have so many seedlings that are ready to be planted out in the cut flower garden, snapdragons and rudbeckia and pincushion flowers, what else? Gomphrena. I have a ton of stuff to plant, but I just keep putting it off because of these just huge windstorms that we have come through. At some point, I'm just gonna have to plant everything. But anyway, we also have equipment in our front yard working on clearing. They're finishing clearing up and leveling that whole area. And while it looks like total chaos, I'll show you in a second, it also is very exciting because it's starting to look like one continuous space, which is what we wanted for that area. And so that's so exciting to see it kind of come together. We also had a large auger dropped off today. We rented it for the day so that we could dig some great big holes for all those trees that we've had sitting out on the new property all this time. They've already broken dormancy. We were hoping to get them planted earlier on this season and it just didn't happen. We finally got our pathways marked out and I want to walk you through all of that. Anyway, there's just a lot of activity, and I do apologize if my audio is ever a little bit iffy today because of all this breeze. I did put on a microphone, so hopefully that helps a bit. First of all, our daffodils in May are still looking beautiful. A lot of them are. I mean, a lot of our daffs, these are the Dalnasa, are looking better than a lot of our tulips. It's crazy. All right, here we are. We're coming up on it. Oh my goodness. Look at this space. I kind of need to go over to the lane side and kind of show you up toward the house. I think that's what I'll do. Oh, Benjamin has been finding all sorts of little fun areas to bring his little equipment out to and play. It's so cute. Can you even believe this? This is the last thing that needs to go, is this tree right there, which I think they may do today since we have the auger here. Okay, I've made it to the lane. Kind of right by the second maple tree, and you can see like all of this right here is all going to be lawn with big shade trees dotted here and there, and it's going to go just straight up to the house. The driveway will be here. This will all be flower bed right here. Actually, it'll be flower bed until about right where I stand. The flower bed will originate at the house. It'll come all the way around the ash tree and all the way out here. It's going to be massive and it's going to be fun. I can't wait. Can you guys see it? I can totally see it. I mean, this is where the old gravel was right here. They're still working on this area a bit. And so like I said, the flower bed will start here and it'll come way out. So all of this will be flower bed and then it'll be grass, you know, all the way up to the porch area. I mean, that'll be an eventual wraparound porch, which we're not doing this year. I told Aaron I'm maxed out on projects this year. Let's like button up what we have going on. If we get grass planted up here, it'll be awesome. Let's get the Hartley in. Let's not worry about landscaping around it. Let's just button up the areas and kind of get them tidy. And then let's just call it for this year. So that's where we're currently at with this demolition project. We didn't film a whole lot of it because, boy, it takes a long time. I mean, they kind of come here and there as they can work on it, and it's a huge project. So I think Aaron may have gotten a little bit of footage, and we just wanted to try to pop out here as often as possible and kind of show you what's going on. So as soon as the guys are done with excavation here, Benny will come in with his crew, he's the guy who does all of our brickwork and irrigation, and he will start putting in a sprinkler system, which will take care of all of this. Can you believe how powdery it gets around here? Crazy. So now what I want to do is show you guys the sections that we're going to have walkways with planting areas. That's where we're planting the trees today. I'll show you how we marked out the walkways. They're going to be 15 feet wide and they're going to be grass. And I think it'll be really nice. In fact, Benny said that 15-foot walkways are the best because he can put sprinklers in on either side and he'll get really excellent coverage with water. Also, the electricians are here today too, finishing up. They've already run all the conduit and they're running wire today. It's just a madhouse here today. So this right here, just please ignore all of the equipment and cars. That is actually not a normal occurrence, really. It's usually pretty clear out here. But this is the the northwest corner of this property. So we've got the cut flower garden. This will be the big lawn. And that corner and this corner will have the walkways with all of the plantings. I'm also going to be planting some native meadows in and amongst these areas. I'm so excited. Okay, so you can see that orange line, the multiple orange lines. Some of them have an X through them because I messed up. But what I did is I got one of those little wheelie things that you put spray paint in, and you can roll it on the ground and spray a line at the same time. And I just kind of put it where I thought I wanted the center of the walkway to be. And then Aaron cut a piece of 15-foot PVC pipe. He marked the center of the pipe with something, and then he and Paul moved that pipe along my line. Like, they lined the center of the pipe along my line, and then they marked the edges with flags. So you can see the flags, I think, they're blowing in the breeze, that go right up into the vegetable garden right over there. I'm kind of glad that we didn't get to this project until this point, because we've used the property enough, or driven on it enough, walked it enough to know exactly where it's most practical to have our walkways. This one I had slightly different on paper, but things on paper sometimes don't translate to real life and real situations. So I did actually fix the trajectory of this pathway. It's a lot more of a straight shot than I had it. On paper, I kind of had it more swoopy, and I think that would have annoyed us in the end if I would have done that, because it seems a little unnecessary to do however many swoops I had there. So as we approach the cut flower garden, all of the walkways in here are 15 feet, and there will be a 15-foot grass perimeter around the whole cut flower garden as well, just for easy access. We want to make sure that we don't design anything too tight out here, because there's really no point in doing that. We want to make it feel open still and easy to move around. There's plenty of space to grow a lot of things. I mean, in fact, let me show you quick. I've got one of my first flower crops growing and blooming. There's some stalk right there. Poor things in the wind. All my potatoes are coming up. All the onions I thought died look a lot better. And then every single flower I planted in this row really early, every single one's up. All my nigella, all my larkspur, and you can see big patches of green, I think. Hopefully you can see it. This row right here is a little spotty. There's some things that came up, some things that didn't, and that's okay. I can reseed. So we had some bee's friend come up, a little bit spotty. The other things I had in this area, like baby's breath and such, did not come up. I'll reseed that. And then right here on the right hand side of the entrance, we're putting in raspberry beds right here. 2 30-foot by 3-foot raspberry beds. I'll only have plants enough to plant one of the beds this year, and then I want to order some golds. Fall golds are one of my favorite raspberries ever. So I want one entire row to be gold raspberries, and the other row, I've got all my heritage raspberries already here and ready to go. So we will film that when we do that project. Okay, so looking back toward the house, you can see the pathway goes like that, like right to the corner, about ish where the gator is. And then that's where it meets the driveway. That's where it meets the other area where you can drive out and toward the dumpster. So I think what we'll do, because the other pathway is over here, I'm gonna walk toward the orchard here. Got a couple of rows of cabbage looking good. There's a ton of onions and Brussels sprouts. Also, I'm pretty sure that we've showed you an updated fence being done. We love it. It is so awesome. You can see the pink outline here on the ground. This is where our shed is going, right there. And this is exciting. Our apricot trees are absolutely chock full of apricots, and I'm gonna let them fruit. I've actually seen the question as to whether or not I leave the fruit on our trees the first year quite a lot. I start with older trees, and I do let them fruit just because it's satisfying to let them do that. I know that when you strip fruit off, it's kind of like stripping flowers off. You're letting the plant send energy into root production and establishing itself, rather than sending energy, because it takes a tremendous amount of energy to ripen and create those fruit. So it kind of, it's a little bit of a trade-off, but I don't know. These trees have a consistent watering system to them, and they'll get regular fertilization, and I think they'll be all right. Okay, so coming out of the cut flower garden here, the 15-foot walkway starts here. Here's the line, and maybe, oh, here comes Paul and Aaron. They're driving it right now. Aaron is so excited to get this done.
Ready to plant?
I gotta, do you want to drive me around this one real quick? Sure. Okay. All right, so we're gonna drive this pathway. It's the one that just goes around these trees that some are falling down, have fallen down, and it just curves around this pine over here and connects back with the cut flower garden in the middle opening. And all of this, like all of the area outside of the pathway and in this middle island, will be planted with beautiful things. I hope that this all makes sense. There's the big auger.
It's a really big auger.
It is. And and here's where it connects. And so you can take off going right, or you can go into the cut flower garden, or you can go back toward the orchard. All right, guys. So at this point, I hope it all makes sense, what I have showed you so far. I know it just seems kind of like, it's kind of hard to explain things at times when there's not a lot to see. Really, I'm just doing a lot of pointing. But we're just gonna set up a camera and we're gonna start planting stuff. I think we have roughly 20 trees to get in the ground, but they're all pretty good size. So it's kind of a beast of a job. All right, guys, so this is how we're doing it. This is how we planted all the maples along the lane as well for these huge trees that have the big root balls. Look at that auger. That is just nuts. But it makes it so much faster. It's really worth the rental fee when you've got so many trees to plant out here. So this is what it does right here. Look at that. Looks good. So I forgot to grab bolt cutters and biotone and all of that stuff. So I'm gonna head back to the barn quick and get those things. And I think what we're gonna do is just plant one at a time, just to make sure we've got all the placement right. I think it's worth it to go slow at this point and make the right tree placement choices. My goodness, the wind. Whew. my goodness, you guys, we got all of the trees in the ground. I cannot even believe it. Now, I'm not sure how much of it we captured. We were in a little bit of a hurry because we only had the auger for the day and we only had Paul's help until 4. So we had between 9 and 4, 7 hours with a lunch break in there somewhere to get all of these trees in the ground, which is quite a feat with huge trees like this. And we're all like kind of done in for the day. So I haven't had a chance yet to go through and take any tags off or any like protective wrap around their trunks. I'll do that here probably tomorrow or maybe later this evening when I take Samantha on a walk around the property. And then also it's been so windy today and we didn't stake a single thing up yet, and we're supposed to get a really strong windstorm. I think I already talked about that. Seems like ages ago that I started this video. But we're supposed to get that windstorm in 2 days, and so I'm expecting that they're going to be a little bit tipped and we'll get everything staked as we have time to do that. I think Aaron actually needs to order some more straps, so we need to get some more supplies. Anyway, I just want to give you guys a quick look at everything that we got done today. I'm so happy and proud of it.
But I just putting up the cars, and then those cars on your chair, and they'll be ouchy.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, and then I picked them up and I can sit again.
Oh, good job. Thank you. So there were cars on my chair in the house, and you picked them up so that weren't ouchy for me?
Yeah.
So I could sit down again?
Yeah.
That's really sweet of you, babe. So we'll start here in the northwest corner. We've got the eastern redbud that I transplanted earlier, and it's still looking really good, you guys. No wilt yet. Of course, it hasn't been super stressed yet. It hasn't been hot. It has been really windy though, so I'm happy with that. But look at over here. It's so pretty, even like with the piles of mulch and the trailer and everything. I can start to see it kind of come together. There are the blue spruces. So 1, 2, 3, a nice little trio, and then 2 Corinthian lindens, and we kind of just like bounced everything around. That's the beauty of this area. We just want to make sure there's a really good mix of color and texture and evergreen interest versus deciduous. There is a redbud, so the forest pansy redbud right back there, and then a royal frost birch right here. So they both have red leaves or purple leaves, and this one will have a beautiful white trunk. On this side is it Renaissance Reflections? I can never remember the name of this birch tree, but I bumped it right back here so I had enough room in this section to put one other smaller like crabapple type tree, and then this is where part of the meadow is going to be. Let me look at the tag. I cannot remember. There it is. And then as we move this way, there are a whole bunch more. The only thing I know we didn't capture on camera, which I'm kind of bummed we didn't, was when Chad dug out the Kwanzaa cherry. He did that for us today. And then we planted it in front of one of the high tunnels. And I think we maybe got the planting part, but I didn't get the part where he used his excavator to dig it out, and that was kind of cool. But we were just rolling as fast as we could. That's an auger. Isn't that cool? Come look, bud. This auger's bigger than you. That is the way to dig holes, huh, buddy? Isn't that huge? That's like ours for our little drill that we have in the barn. Oh, look, Daddy's flying the drone. Gonna wave at it? It's right there. Are you trying to blow the drone away? Is it working?
Whoa.
Whoa. Okay, so starting at the middle opening of the cut flower garden, you can kind of see the pathway going through there. The Venus dogwood that Benjamin and I planted is right here. I hope I'm pointing in the right. I can't see in the camera. It's so bright out here. Is it right there? I don't know. There are 2 Corinthian lindens in this space. There's a Scotch pine, whoop, right there. And then kind of flanking the pathway on either side, there are 3 forest pansy redbuds. So 1, 2, 3. And we thought that would be a beautiful alley one day when they're big. They get 20 feet tall by 25 feet wide. So we put them close enough to the walkway to where they can kind of come over a bit, but not all the way. This evergreen I want more of. This is so cute. And I can't remember the name. Arctos Siberian spruce grows 20 feet tall by 10 feet wide. Like, I look at this and I think, oh, but wouldn't it be beautiful to have like 1, 2, like have a grouping of 3 or whatever, or just bounce some more around in this area. Although we are lacking blue. We have no blue evergreens in this area yet, but we have so much space to do so many fun things. So turning back toward the high tunnel here, there's one of the Corinthian lindens, and that's where the Kwanzaa cherry went. I have a slow hose running on its root ball right now because that one and the Venus dogwood are the only 2 that I'm like, well, we'll see what happens. We'll see if they survive. At least we're trying to save their lives. But you can see this is the edge of one of the pathways that comes out of the garden. So that's that little section that we can plant kind of heavily to mask the high tunnels. So that's our start right there. Okay, so we're kind of going in the opposite direction now. There are the redbuds on the other side. Actually having that white wrap around their trunk still, you can see them a little bit better. Okay, so we've got a Katsura tree right here. They grow 40 by 40. Huge, huge trees. Beautiful fall color. There's a Japanese Stewardship. Don't know if I'm saying that right, but that's right there. Big white flowers in the summertime. There's an Autumn Brilliance serviceberry right there. Beautiful, like fire red in the fall. And there's a Katsura red fox. Let's see. I was gonna plant this next to the vegetable garden where I lost a crabapple. Decided to bump it out here because I'm not sure how I feel about this tree yet. So there's the tag, and 20 by 15. It's hardy to negative 30 degrees. The thing about this tree is that it always looks dry. And you know what? Out here, I love the shape of the leaves. I love the color of the leaves, especially when they come out brand new. They're so bright and beautiful. I don't know. I just didn't want it in a super focal position. It's fun to try out these specimen type varieties, but I wanted something maybe with a little bit more bloom and a little less wilt look going on next to the vegetable garden. Looking back toward the island, you can see the Scotch pine, which those in the end will be between 20 and 30 feet wide and tall. So it can fill in kind of like this whole section right here. It just is so fun to see these things in the ground. They're gonna be so much happier. And there's our third Corinthian. So we had from the edge of the pathway all the way out to the lane and the service road here to plant. And I actually thought it would be fun with the little pavers that we took up from the front sidewalk up there to have, once it's really thick back here, you can't really see in the border. I would like to maybe create a little like secret pathway to like a little secret patio. Maybe for the kids, maybe for, you know, whoever. I think it would just be kind of magical to have a little spots like that tucked in. And looking back toward the high tunnels, you can see the serviceberry, the Stewardship, and the Katsura, and they're all kind of, they're not in an exact row. I just wanted to make sure not to plant anything like that. I don't want anything to be super formal. You can see the grouping of redbuds again. They got a ton of work done on this space right here today. It will not be long, you guys. Like, just imagine with me here. Imagine driving down this lane and looking underneath the canopy of these maple trees here. What are they again? Autumn Blaze maples, looking under the canopy at beautiful lawn here with big shade trees and flower borders, and a place for the kids to stretch their legs and like actually play a sport, which would be really fun for them to get out there and be able to kick the soccer ball around or whatever and not have to worry about hitting the house or some kind of structure or whatever. It's just really coming together, and I'm just loving it so much. So that's pretty much it for today's project, and boy was it a big one. It's one we've been working toward and building toward for a really long time. I mean, you guys know, it's just fun to have like the first things in the ground out here. I've had those Corinthian lindens and the blue spruces since last year, and the Stewardship tree. I bought the blue spruces thinking we were going to have a chance to plant them out here, and we never did. So we used them for holiday decorating, and the Corinthian lindens actually hung out at our high tunnel in the cut flower garden last year, and I knew we would use them out here somewhere. Aaron is flying his drone right now, and it's super distracting because he's trying to get really close to me just to be a pain. All right, there he goes. What is your daddy doing? So tomorrow we'll actually set up the drip zone to all of these. We'll run a 1/2-inch black poly tube and then run individual emitters or like a ring of the brown drip tubing that's 1/4 inch that has holes every 6 inches. We've been doing that more in containers and around our orchard trees, and it's been working really well. So we will show you the infrastructure of that when we do it. And once we have the drip zone set up, we can actually start planting shrubs and things, which I have some. So you'll probably see this area start to take shape even more. It's just so exciting. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.